Maurice, Dave, members and guests of the Taekwondo. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Yes.
It's an honor for me to be here in Cincinnati and telling my story. And to be addressing the best of my brothers and sisters from all the wars we fought, both past and present. We all wore a uniform, but over the years it's changed many times. From my jungle uniform to this new uniform that the Army graciously gave me, called the Pinks and Greens today. Now, many years ago, back in 1969, some of you weren't even born yet. I got a
Not me.
surprise letter in the mail from the Selective Service Draft Branch in Warren. I got drafted. I went to Cleveland, got on a bus to Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and the second stage of my life started. When I stepped off the bus, and the first words I heard were, "Boy, you better get off my bus. You better move faster than that." And I said to myself, "Oh, this isn't going to be good." I had training, 11 Bravo, more training, and a lot of physical training. And then I was off to Fort Hope, Louisiana for more training, and 11 Charlie training, which was mortar. And in 6 months I was off to a country called Vietnam, 1970. That was halfway around the world. We left on the 30th of January and arrived in Vietnam on January 29th. We lost the whole day because we crossed the international date line. Again, all 225 of us on a plane says, "Oh, this isn't going to be good. Welcome to the Twilight Zone." Stepping off the plane, we had heat, humidity, and the jungle stench. Now that you guys are all now in the great state of Ohio, OH,
Ow.
OH.
Ow.
Always in the dime.
I use that to wake a lot of people up to fall asleep because they're tired. Now myself, growing up with a World War II veteran father was the best thing that happened to me. His ideas and standards were very high. And that passed on to myself, and I passed that on to my 2 sons. I can see it in their lives today. Now let's take a walk in my boots. I just want to share a special story with you. It's not a story about comic book heroes. It's a true story about courage, friendship, and remembering the people who served our country in the military. I was a young soldier a long time ago. Served in the United States Army during the Vietnam War with the 101st Airborne Air Assault. My job was to help my teammates stay safe and communicate with Base Camp Evans during all our missions. Being I was Lieutenant's radio man, and we were in great danger on the night of May 7th, 1970, I had to make a tough choice. I handed off the radio to Sarge, who was wounded and could not fight, and I moved forward, even though I was scared, because I wanted to protect my fellow soldiers that were wounded and the ones still alive. Even being wounded myself, but I was still able to fight, I went outside the defensive perimeter to draw fire away from the other wounded soldiers, because we were being overrun by the North Vietnamese in the jungles of Vietnam in the darkest of all nights with no moon, and we all thought we were okay. But we fought back, and with the help of the gunships, we survived. With only 18 of us in my second platoon, 14 of my brothers received the Purple Heart. That was my second one. And 7 of the 14 of our brothers were killed in action. And 4 were so lucky not to be wounded at all. I not think I was doing anything special. I just did what I believed was right for my training that I received. Now I was given another chance at life when I was injured. After getting out of the hospital and military, my goal was to help other veterans get their benefits that they earned, and not go through the struggles and the hardships that I went through to get mine. Now in 2024, 54 years later, I get a phone call asking me to accept a phone call from a person from the DOD between 2 and 6 p.m. And on Halloween night at 4:30 p.m., the phone did ring. It was from the President of the United States, President Joe Biden, on my cell phone. He told me I was received the Medal of Honor, the highest award a soldier can receive. I was surprised and humbled. I told him I did not do things in Vietnam for a medal. I did it for the people I cared about, my brothers fighting with me. And on December 30th, 2024, an escort from DC came to my house to take me to the Cleveland airport. He had orders not to lose sight of me the whole time we were in public view, because he said I was a property of the government. Now when we arrived in DC, we had an 8-motorcycle and 4 police car escort, with lights and sirens all the way to Fort Myers to the clothing store, which closed at 5. But due to delays in the flight, we got there at 7:30. The Pentagon told them to stay open until I got there, so they can get me fitted up and tailor make this uniform. I had a lot of briefings on protocol. Now the next day, on New Year's Eve, my escort made a phone call and we went to the Tomb of the Unknown. After walking, this was 9 o'clock at night, we all watched the guard walk back and forth. And the sergeant of the guard said, "Come on, we're gonna go inside. I'm gonna show you where the honor guard lives." Then the next day, on New Year's Day, he made another phone call, my escort. And we went to Fort Myers, and we fired flint muskets in the Civil War. We only shot the powder, no bullets. And he double charged some of the shot with some of my friends. And we had more fire coming out of those barrels than you could imagine. It was a lot of fun that day. Then we had more briefings from generals and lieutenant colonels on protocol, what they expected me to do, how to do it, practice this and practice that. And on January 3rd, 2025, this year, at the White House, for the ceremony, with my 2 sons, 7-year-old grandson, plus my friend Bob, crusty old Master Sarge, met with President Joe Biden. And we all watched him sign my paperwork. The president talked to all 5 of us, shook our hands, and he also gave my grandson a stuffed animal from one of the cartoons on TV. My grandson will remember that for the rest of his life. A while later, we were in the East Room for the ceremony at the White House, and President Joe Biden placed the Medal of Honor around my neck. It was one of the most meaningful moments of my life. To date, there are only 61 living recipients to receive this honor, but over 3,000 were given out since they started. Now, the day after the Medal of Honor ceremony, I again was honored. This time at the Pentagon, called the Wall of Heroes. But that room only held 100 people. So they bussed us